I'm Jaiden Parham here today with Coach Bryant, Garrison. How you doing, Coach?
Good, doing well.
Just want to ask you a few questions about this upcoming football season.
Sure.
So, in our region that we have, we were ranked last year top 10 and hardest divisions to play in 7A football. Does that concern you a little bit, or you accept the challenge, or are you ready for it?
Not really concerned. If you want to be the best, you got to be able to compete and play against the best. And we just see it as a really good opportunity for us and our kids and our staff and the whole program in general, just to go out and compete at the highest level in the state. And so we just we look forward to the challenge.
Okay, tell me some more about before you got here to Smith Station. You were coaching at Slocum High School.
Yes.
So, tell me some more about that.
It's a 4A school. They were 3 for a long time, just jumped up to 4 this past year recently. So it was my first time to be a head coach, and it was a great experience for me. I learned a lot as not only as a coach but also a person as well, on just how to go about your day-to-day businesses and on getting things done the right way and getting them done with a sense of urgency and making sure that the coaches and the players and everybody is prepared as they can be to compete on Friday night.
Okay, and I just want to know, what kind of culture are you want to accumulate, try to build here? Because some football programs have a more family-based culture that we're all a family, and some football programs have we're the grittiest and we're the meanest that can be in this area. What kind of culture are you trying to build here at Smith Station?
It is a family type atmosphere we have here. I tell the players that I love them every day, because I do. I love them from the bottom of my heart. But it's a tough love. And it's just like I have a love for my son. I love him to death. It's a tough love. He's going to make sure that he does the things the right way. And the players are starting to learn that slowly but surely. They see that, I'm no nonsense, down to business, and there's one way to do things, and that's the right way. It's not really my way, but it's the right way to do things. And it's not just a couple of days out of the week, or they can pick and choose. They have to do the right things every single day of the week. And we're trying to be elite and establish an elite football culture here that will be able to compete at the highest level in our region and in the state of Alabama week in and week out. But to do that, we have to be able to do the right things, train the right way, work out the right way, prepare the right way in every facet of the game. I think the kids are taking a hard time to kind of see that they can't just pick and choose when they want to do things the right way. They have to do things the right way all the time. A lot of them think that they have all these choices, the illusion of choice, but if you really want to be good, you want to be great, you want to be at the elite level, you really don't have a choice, and that's to do things the right way, which is the hard way. There is no easy way around it. And I tell them to, you can choose your hard. There's going to be hard things in life and hard things, the way that we do things in this program, so they can choose it the hard way the first time, or choose it the harder way, which is going to be a different way to kind of change their mentality and change their way of thinking. So we just try to all incorporate that together. But as a family atmosphere, we want to love on the kids and let them know that we're there for them. And we want to help them in every way that we can for them to reach their goals and reach their potential. But it's a tough love, so it's kind of a fine line that we're dealing with the kids every day.
Yes, sir. And I understand that you were a grad assistant under Coach Saban and Coach Smart.
Yes.
Yes, sir. And Nick Saban has built an amazing football program over at Alabama, and likewise, Coach Smart has also built an outstanding football program over there at Georgia.
Right.
What are those two, and they're completely two, even though they're one and the same, completely two different mindsets when it comes to their players and how they run their football program. What key features have you taken from both of those coaches that you want to apply here at Smith Station?
If you really take a deep look at them and you know them like I know them, there's really not a lot of difference between the way that they do things. There may be a little presentation difference that comes off sometimes. I think that's maybe the key. Everybody sees Saban as this real, tough, hard-nosed coach. He's real stern, but Coach Smart is too. Coach Smart is really very attention to detail oriented, and he has his kids to be elite as well. That's what he challenges to be every day, because you're either elite or you're not. There's no gray area in that. So sometimes you can look at somebody and be like, well, he's okay, or he's good, or whatever, but you're either elite or you're not when you get to be up at that level. And just being around them every day, it really molded me into the coach that I am today. Not only from like an X and O's kind of scheme type of way, but just the organizational piece of it. And coming into work every day with that sense of urgency, making sure that I was doing my job the way that it was supposed to be done, and I was getting it done in a timely fashion, because every time that you walk in the building, you know, you have that sense of urgency to get your job done the right way the first time. And I think that's the discipline that Coach Saban instilled in me. And you know, he defines discipline as doing the right thing the way it's supposed to be done, how it's supposed to be done all the time. And that's something that we're really trying to drive on here, and that's the accountability piece, that you have to have your own self-discipline, that, you know, who are you when the coaches are really not watching you, when they're not looking? Are you doing still what's necessary that needs to be done, or are you kind of skipping sets, or are you skipping reps? So, you know, you kind of got to have that intrinsic motivation about you to get the job done when there's not a coach staring at you, you know, all the time. But I was around Coach Smart a lot more than I was Coach Saban. I was with them in the secondary, but when we kind of broke off with safeties and corners, I was with the safeties a lot more with Coach Smart. So I really got to you know, listen to him and listen how he coached, and saw the way that he coached and his coaching style. I kind of think mine kind of mirrors his just a little bit, the way that we're real intense and we're really loud. And I think the kids, they see that, and sometimes they don't know how to take it, but I tell them to listen to the message, don't listen to the tone, because when we get really excited, you know, we start getting really loud with the way that we speak, but always listen to the message, you know, and I think that you can find what you're needing to find through the message, instead of maybe getting upset by the tone that the coach is using with you. If a coach is coaching you and he's coaching you really hard, that's the utmost respect that he can give you as a player. It's not that he doesn't like you, and you know, you hear that sometimes, well, the coach doesn't like me, he's on me all the time. No, that's because he sees something in you that maybe you don't see in yourself, and he's trying to draw that out of you. So one thing that Coach Smart and Coach Saban, they did really well, is they got the most out of each and every player. And I think a lot of times we can go as far as to say as the players went above and beyond of what they were capable of doing, whatever they thought that they could do. And so just kind of carrying that same kind of coaching philosophy with me, no matter where I went, and just the work ethic that they've had, which is relentless. I mean, it's relentless all the time, no matter what it is that they're doing, whether they were watching film, whether they're recruiting, you know, whether they were coming up for game plans. Everything is very attention to detail oriented, and everything is, you know, very precise when it comes to not only them knowing their job and their responsibility, what they're going to do, but outline and defining all the roles in the organization. And so I think that's pretty key for me to come in as a new coach, that I kind of define everybody's role as it pertains to the coaches and even the players, all the way down to the, you know, the film crew, the training staff, and everything. Everybody's got a job, and they need to do their job, but to do it, they have to know what their job is, and they got to know how to do it. So I think that a lot of that kind of falls on me too. So very, very just very grateful for my time there. Very grateful for the experiences and the relationship that I have from not only a lot of the coaches, but the players too. But just being around them for that short amount of time, it just allowed me to see how a program is supposed to be run. And you know, when Coach Saban got there, it really wasn't sexy to come to Alabama. You know, Alabama wasn't Alabama when, you know, he got there, but he turned it into what it is today. But that was because of his coaches that he had on staff. That was because of the players that came in, and the whole mindset of the whole organization changed. And some of their key recruits, like Julio Jones that came in, and Mark Ingram, you know, they came in as freshmen, and they said, "Be like me." And they set the standard for the program that is even hard to live up to this day. You know, if you watched Alabama last year, they lost a couple of games. So for most teams, that's a successful year, but to the Alabama standard, that's really hard to live up to. But that's a good thing. You know, when we set the standard here just as high, and I set it high every day, and set an expectation not only for myself, but for my coaches and for my players, because we want to raise that bar very high, because we want to try to get to it every day. And once we get to it, we don't want to be satisfied, because when you're satisfied, I believe that's when you stop growing. Coach Smart used to say all the time, when you're green, you grow. When you ripe, that's when you rot. We don't want to get to the point where we're ripe and we're content and we're satisfied with where we are. We always want to continue to grow. And so that's why we keep raising the bar every single day, so that we can see if we can get to it. And if we can, that's great. We need to raise it even higher every day.
Yes, sir. Last few questions for you. I was at work the other day, and I ran into Miss Copeland,
Okay.
the wife of the mayor of Smith Station.
Yes.
And she was just telling me how she likes you, and she's very intrigued and ready to see what you have to bring to the table for this season. And I talked to her husband as well, Mayor Copeland. He was also very, very excited to see the things that you got planned for this season, and a lot of people around the community are just very excited and are very bought in to see what you have to bring this coming August. And I just want to ask you, Coach, so what are some of the things that made you choose Smith Station yourself? Because a lot of people say that, well, we offered you this job, this job over here, but what made you choose Smith Station?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. It has a lot to do with the community, and just a sense of community and family that surrounds this whole area. They really love Smith Station, and they really love Smith Station football, but also Smith Station athletics. But they really have a deep love for Smith Station, and it's been around for a long time, and Smith Station's had some really, really good football teams in the past, and that's kind of the expectation and the level we're trying to get back to, is those really, really good teams that they've had. I remember growing up in the early 90s, you always heard about Smith Station and some of the teams that they had, and beating some of the teams that they beat. So, we want to develop a program to kind of get us back to, that level. And the administration here with Dr. Cook and Ms. Johnson, the athletic director, they have been nothing but helpful and awesome from the time I stepped foot on campus for my first interview until now. They've given this program, all the resources that we need to be successful, and they're always willing to help and asking me what I need. What do I need to, help move this program in the right direction and keep moving it forward. So they've been an awesome help, and I really appreciate them and their leadership and their guidance, because it's not only trying to help the football team. They're about that through all the programs and just Smith Station in general. They're all about Smith Station, and that's what you want from a principal, a leader, administration. You want them to have your back. You want them to always be there to encourage you and ask you what they can do to help you, and that's the same thing, and it goes both ways. I want to make sure that I'm lending my hand out to them to make sure that if there's anything that I can do as a football coach, or our staff can do as a staff, or our players can do as a team to help them, we want to be the first ones there to lend that hand out and help them as well, because it's a total team effort all the way around. It's a total family environment, and that's what we're trying to create here. And my wife, she loves the family environment that's here. She's already reached out to some of the other coaches' wives, because she wants to have that tight-knit group of a close family with the coaches' wives, because they share a special bond, because they spend a lot of time together when they're not being able to be with their husbands, their coaches, because we spend so much time here during the season. So she's been real excited to get in touch with those ladies and kind of form that bond with them. And the coaches that are here on staff have been nothing but great so far. They bought right into all the stuff that we've been trying to implement as a staff and as a program, and the kids have really jumped in as well. There's a little bit of hesitation every now and then, which is to be expected, but for the most part, the kids are really bought in and are really trying to do the things that we ask them to do. And that's the start of the foundation that we have to lay. You can't build the house without the foundation, and laying the concrete and putting the rebar up, which I think you mentioned Alabama. That's kind of where they're at now. That foundation has been laid for a long time, so now they just put the pretty glass windows up now. But we're at the point where we got to lay that foundation and make sure that we're holding everybody accountable every day for what they do. And they have the freedom of choice. They have their choices and decisions, but they don't have their freedom and choices of their consequences that come with it. And I think that's some of the things that they're starting to understand. They always have to do things the right way. You have to be accountable for your decisions and your actions. And so those are some of the things we're kind of laying down as that foundation. And it's all part of trying to change the mindset, and it's trying to shift that culture and change the narrative a little bit, because when I first got here, there was a little bit of negativity in the air, and there's some negativity kind of surrounding the outside from here. And every time that something goes well here, every time that something, we put something out on social media, there's a negative attention that gets brought back to it. And it's not people from Smith Station, it's people from outside of the area, because they see Smith Station as a threat. And anytime there's something good that happens to promote Smith Station, they don't want to see it, so they bring that negativity back to try to keep Smith Station down, keep the players down. But I tell the players, you can't buy into that. You can't listen to that. if anything, that should fuel you to keep you going and to drive you to keep doing better.
Right.
Because that is our goal, that is our expectation, and to be able to compete with everybody that we play, no matter the circumstance, no matter what region we're in, no matter what classification we're in. That shouldn't matter. Our character should not be defined by our situation or our circumstance, no matter what it is. If we're up 10, if we're down 10, we still should be playing the same way with that, relentless energy and that passion. Just because the school board says something a certain way, it shouldn't change the way that we play or change the way that we think or change our, discipline on and off the field. In the same way, just like the kids in the weight room today, they come in a little bit dragging because it's Monday, because they didn't want to, be here and go through the hard workout that they knew they were going to work out. But again, you got to choose your hard. You got to go through the hard now. You got to go through the pain of discipline in the weight room so that you don't have to endure the pain of disappointment out on the football field later, because you're not preparing yourself now. And so it's just kind of a mindset change that we're trying to instill in them. And it's a process. It's going to take some time. There's no magic formula I can just throw out there and get it all changed at one time. But that's okay. I love the work. I love the grind. I love the process. I love being able to kind of piece things together, and that's what we're starting to see. We're starting to see those little bitty pieces start to come together, and it's a really cool thing.
Yes, sir. I can't wait until May. Is it May the 8th or 18th?
May the 8th, the first spring practice day.
May the 8th, okay. And when is the spring game? Is that following Friday?
Well, it's going to be a scrimmage. It's going to be an inter-squad.
Okay.
I believe it's the 19th at 6 o'clock. We just didn't feel like a game would benefit us at this point, just because of me getting in here, the timing of it coming in so late, trying to get everything together. But we really do need those 10 days of practice just to kind of get our tempo down and our flow of things and how we run our practices, but also so the kids can learn the base offense, the base defense, kind of our base scheme, and kind of get the verbiage and the language and all that, the terminology down and everything going into summer. And so that way we can have a good foot forward going into summer, leading us into fall camp.
Yes, sir. Can't wait. Very much excited, and thank you, Coach, for all of your time that you gave us today.
Appreciate you guys, and appreciate you want to come out and talk to me.
Yes, sir.
Anytime.